And as has been reported in the U.S., federal immigration raids in Los Angeles have provoked a two-day loud citywide protest led by groups opposing President Donald Trump's xenophobic policies. In this context, President Donald Trump on Saturday night ordered about 2,000 California National Guard troops to Los Angeles against the will of the state officials. For more information, we welcome at this time Julia Wallace. She is at Service Employees International Union. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you interviewing me.
Okay, so the first question is how many people are deported so far in the last few days?
The Trump administration has not released the numbers of how many people have been deported so far. On Friday, they attempted to deport and detain 44 people, including SEIU Union President David Huerta, who's also on the executive board of the LA County Federation of Labor, with 44 other people, as he protested against the ICE raids in the garment district of Los Angeles.
Okay, some experts have warned that President Donald Trump's move to deploy this amount of National Guard troops is dangerous. Why do experts say something like this?
I think that President Donald Trump's deployment of National Guard troops is because at this point he is very weak and has a low approval rating. And this is a way to garner support from his most jingoist sectors, as well as other sectors of the capitalist class who are wanting more deportations. I think that it is dangerous in the sense that it is a provocation, and especially in a city and state that has been explicitly called a sanctuary city and has condemned Trump's policies. As well, the population, as you clearly see, have been rising up against Trump from Paramount to Long Beach, Inglewood, downtown Los Angeles today, and other cities as well. And this is part of a growing movement of mainly Latino, but also Black, Asian, white, multicultural youth that are rising up against Trump. And it's important that I think the labor movement as well defend David Huerta, and that we all, as people who are members of the labor movement and unions, stand up and including potentially striking against these deportations and repressive measures by the Trump administration.
So the state of California may reportedly file a lawsuit tomorrow over Trump's National Guard deployment. What can we expect from this lawsuit if it's filed?
So both Gavin Newsom and other members of the Democratic Party have condemned Trump's deployment of the National Guard, calling it a provocation. And I think that it is truth that it is a provocation. But it is important for us that are members of the labor movement and those of us who remember, who are part of the immigrant rights movement, that these legislatures have also been supporting deportations, including the Obama administration, which deported more people than any other president in U.S. history, the Bush administration, and the continuation of the militarization of the border. Legislators are taking these positions, but in many ways, they cannot be relied on because during their own Biden administration, there were many deportations and raids as well. I think it really shows that if there is going to be, not if, when ICE is kicked out of our communities, it's going to be because of the working class uprising and mobilizations that are happening and just burgeoning in Los Angeles and in other cities around the country.
Are there efforts to pressure Governor Newsom to take bolder steps against these actions of Trump's?
I think the mobilizations are a pressure on Newsom. He is also under pressure because of the FIFA World Cup, which is happening next year, and the Olympics. I myself, as a social worker, are seeing a lot of homeless people being attacked by encampments led by Newsom. And so really, the legislatures are taking some of these stances, but they cannot be relied upon. What can be relied upon is the organized effort of the working class and students and the pro-Palestine movement uniting with the labor movement to fight against all deportations and to form our own political organization based on class independence.
So can we expect further demonstrations in the upcoming days, especially now that with this deployment of the guards in LA?
Absolutely. What is shown today is that the people are unafraid and are willing to challenge the police, the sheriffs, the National Guard. If you look at the history of Los Angeles, every uprising from Watts 65 to 1992 with Rodney King, as well as the 2010 uprising for Manuel Jimenez Zoom, a Guatemalan immigrant, and Black Lives Matter, that we are experienced in protesting and mobilizing against the brutality of the state, including the police, including the sheriff, and including the National Guard, in fact, in 1992 when they were deployed. So people will continue to protest. Tomorrow, there is a protest organized by SEIU, Service Employees International Union, demanding the release of David Huerta, who is the union president, as I mentioned. And it is organized by SEIU, and it is tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. at 200 North Grand Avenue. And this is just the beginning. It's important for us to realize that Los Angeles is the experiment. Los Angeles was part of Mexico, if folks remember, and people have long history and long roots, including the Chicano rights movement and the walkouts and the burnouts of the 1960s and 70s, and the Black Panther struggle and the Black Power movements during that time period as well. People have been organizing against the state, and they are not slowing down. We know that we have to continue to stand up for ourselves in our communities and at our workplaces against ICE until we kick ICE out of our communities.
So one final question, Julia. How do these protests connect to wider global movement against far-right anti-immigrant policies?
I'm glad you asked that. Anti-immigrant policies are not unique to Los Angeles or the United States. For example, in France, Macron has anti-immigrant policies, and actually a comrade of mine, Anas Kazib, is facing charges. His trial is on June 18th, and we're calling for dropping the charges. Immigrants are also attacked in other parts of the world, in Argentina as well. The far right of the Milei government has been literally beating up elderly people who are fighting for their pensions. And as well in Germany, they're wanting to militarize. And so we have to, especially folks that are in imperialist countries, take a stand against imperialism and defend immigrants who are forced to take a chance, literally fleeing for their lives, to come to imperialist countries to make a better life, only to be called illegal. Immigrants are used to being super exploited and disciplining the entire working class. So when immigrants are organized, the entire working class benefits and must and stand with immigrants. I myself, as a Black person born in the United States, understand that Black people and Latino people, we live in communities together, we work together, and we are the most exploited. So if we join together, we're an incredible powerhouse because we are some of the backbone of the United States proletariat. And so the far right is trying to mobilize all over, trying to use racism to divide us. It's important that we develop working class unity, and that we fight for oppressed people and working class people with the methods of the working class, including and especially the strike.
So thank you, Julia, for your time with us from the South.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Solidarity.